and welcome. This is RueshTV, and I am bringing you a PvP guide for the Fire Mage. One thing to note is that I spend most of my time PvE, but I figured I'd give my hand at PvP. So we'll take a look at the talents. As I said, I'm Fire Mage, so I just do Pyroblast, Fireballs, things like that. That's all fire. Alright, so we'll take a look at the talents. I tried to do my best at picking talents that would be for PvP. I wasn't sure, but I tried my best at these. So for the level 15, we have an option between Pyromaniac, Conflagration, Firestarter, Pyromaniac, Casting, Pyroblast, or Flame Strike while Hot Streaks is active has an 8% chance to instantly reactivate Hot Streaks, which might be awesome. I'm not really sure. I'd have to take a look at it. It seems PvE. Conflagration. Fireball also applies Conflagration to a target, dealing additional 4,000 fire damage over 8 seconds. And then Firestarter. Your Fireball spells always deals a critical strike when the target is above 90%. So that might actually be helpful when you're starting off a battle. But I'm going to go with the Fire Dot added with Conflagration. 30 is actually a no-brainer. Cold Snap. Ice Block has 2 charges and then heals you for 3% of your maximum health. So definitely you got to grab that one because survivability is key in Arena and PvP. But you have other options. Shimmer replaces Blink, teleport you 20 yards in front of you as long as there's nothing in front of you. Cauterize, so it does the same thing as before with 35% health and then burns you down, but it also takes the movement speed from you. So if you don't want to grab Cold Snap and you grab Cauterize instead, let's say you're with a healer, it might actually be beneficial because you'll get movement speed to get out of there. But I just don't see the importance of not using Cold Snap. All right, next one, it's a toss up between Mirror Images and Incantress Flow in my opinion. But Incantress Flow has a magical build up that flows through you, building up 20% increased damage and then diminishing by 4, and it recycles every 10 seconds. You just have a damage boost on you at all times with that while you're in combat. Alright. Root of Power, not even worth putting down something to stand in place. It's just not worth it to me. And the Mirror Images creates 3 copies of you, which cast spells and attack enemies, which is really good for deception. But when it comes to PvP, chances are you won't be really necessarily needing your Mirror Images. The next one, level 60, Blast Wave causes an explosion around an enemy target, dealing 44,000 fire damage to all enemies within 8 yards, reducing movement speed by 70% for 4 seconds. This actually might be very useful in PvP, but like I said, I'm a PvE guy and I have no idea. So I'm just going to go with something else. But Flame On grants you 2 charges of Inferno Blast if you use it. Let's say you use your Inferno Blast and you want to get more blasts, then you just use Flame On and it replenishes. And then there's Control Burned. When you gain Heating Up, you have a 10% chance to instantly activate Hot Streaks. So when you're running around scorching things, Inferno Blasting, you might actually get a chance at Pyroblast while you're running around. So that's, I think, my favorite of the options. Level 75, Ice Flows, Ring of Frost, Ice Ward. Ring of Frost, if you are pretty good with the CC, you can toss that down and get people within the ring, which is pretty good in PvP and Arena. Ice Flows allows you to move while running. There's something there that I can think of that would benefit you for using that. Cast Pyroblast on the run if you want to hard cast it, or Fireball on the run. But you might as well just use Scorch because it's instant. So for just already on the move anyways, so there's no need for that. So Yeah, and then Ice Ward just gives your Frost Nova 2 charges, which is helpful, but I think Ringer Frost is better for a CC. 90, we have Living Bomb, Unstable Magic, and Flame Patch. Flame Strike leaves behind a patch of flames, which burns. People move out of it. It seems like a PvE talent where mobs don't move. Unstable Magic has a 30% chance to explode on impact. I think this is awesome to use, but I also think Living Bomb is awesome to use, so it's a toss-up for me, but I'm going with Living Bomb. I just like having the clickable, castable thing. I can just watch it spread. I just know that it's there. So there's that. And then level 100, Kindling, your Fireball, Pyroblast, Inferno Blast, critical strikes reduce the remaining cooldown of Combustion. I think that'd be awesome to use since now Combustion turns you into this little thing. But I'm still not sure about it. Cinderstorm throws a spread of 6 cinders that travel in an arc, dealing 12,000 damage to enemies it hits. Damage is increased 30% if the target is affected by your Ignite, so this might be beneficial as well in PvP. I haven't really tested it out. I would love to test it out. And then there's Meteor, which I just threw down. Does crazy amount of fire damage within the range. So if you are able to drop it on a group or on a person, you do crazy amount of damage for him. So this is my talent side. Let's take a look at the honor talents. Alright. Again, as a disclaimer, I know little about PvP, but I'm just going to act like I know a little about something. So with the first items of the honor talents, between Gladiator's Medallion, which removes all movement impairing effects, and all effects cause loss of control of your character. It's just the Gladiator's Medallion that you would use in the old PvP. Adaptation: all loss of control effects with duration of 5 seconds or more will activate your Honor Medallion spell, but will only cause it to incur a 60-second cooldown. That might be helpful. And then there's Relentless, which means the duration of incoming crowd control effect reduced by 25%. I just like Gladiator's Medallion. I think that one is awesome. I'll just go with that one. Then for the next tier, we have Train of Thought, Mind Quickness, and Initiation. Train of Thought means if you are unaffected by somebody's attack, your damage is increased by 15%. If you do get attacked, then it will cancel it for 8 seconds. Mind Quickness is just an increased haste by 6% at all times, which means more fireballs, more scorches, those type of things. And Initiation, critical chance of your damaging abilities and attacks increased by 30% on target at or above 80% health. This actually would be a great pair if you went with Firestarter. Well, I'm not a big Firestarter fan, so I'm just going to go with the Mind Quickness. I'm a big fan of the haste. Next tier down, we have Netherwind Armor, Burning Determination, and Prismatic Cloak. Prismatic Cloak, after you blink, spells have a 100% chance to miss you for 2.5 seconds. I blink all the time in the arenas. Just part of what I try to do. So I like the chance that if they fire something at me, there's a chance to miss. Burning Determination, after being interrupted while casting a spell, you become immune to being interrupted while casting for seconds. That's actually really good, but more so for a healer, I think. And then Netherwind Armor, it reduces the chance you will suffer a critical strike by 15%. That's always up. It's passive. I like it, but I'm just going to go with the Prismatic Cloak on that one. The next thing down, Temporal Shield. We have Temporal Shield, Dense Ice, Cultimania. With Temporal Shield, as you can see, this just envelops you in a Temporal Shield for 4 seconds. All damage taken while shielded will be instantly restored when the shield ends. So just as you take damage, it stacks up, and it just goes right back to you as healing done, which is pretty sweet if you time it right. Dense Ice increases the amount the ice barrier will absorb but it will only absorb physical attacks. If you're fighting someone like a Mage, Shadow Priest, Boomkin, things like that, you're just going to be wrecked without your Ice Barrier, so I'm just not a fan of that one. If you're fighting DKs, Warriors, anything like that, it might be helpful, but I think Temporal Shield's better than that. And then Kleptomania. Spell Steal now has 15-second cooldown, but it steals all spells from the target. So instead of just one at a time, do all of them. I think that's really good against a Boomy who has hots himself up. But just for testing purposes, I'm going to go with the Temporal Shield. Next here down we have Tinder, World in Flames, Flare Up. Tinder, if you have not cast Fireball in 8 seconds, your next Fireball will deal 30% increased damage with a 50% reduced cast time. It's actually really nice if you rotate through Scorches. So if you just Fireball and then just Scorch, 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 fire this off, fire that off, fire that off, and then oh yeah, boom, Fireball, it'll actually be increased. Don't really have anything to show you because I'm not in a group for PvP, so it doesn't really show, but it's actually pretty cool. If you Scorch Weave. World in Flames reduces the cast time of Flame Strike by 3 seconds. It increases its damage by 30 seconds. If you are used to using Flame Strike, that'd be really cool to you, but I don't, so I'm not going to use it. Flare Up. Inferno Blast charges increased by 1. Use Inferno Blast on a target not affected by your Ignite will refund the charge. So basically gives you infinite Inferno Blasts if your Ignite does not go onto that proof. So I like it. I also like the fact that it gives me additional charge, so instead of 2 I have 3. And then down here at the bottom, Fire Starter, Flame Cannon, Greater Pyroblast. I really wanted to grab Greater Pyroblast, but I actually thought that the Fireball reduces the cooldown of your combustion by 20 seconds would be helpful in Battlegrounds, which I'm going to do. I'm not going to do any arenas. If I were to do an arena, I would probably use Greater Pyroblast because it hurls a fiery boulder that causes 31% of the total health and fire damage. I think this would be awesome in arenas, but that's not what I'm doing, so I'm going to go with the Fire Starter. Flame Cannon, after standing still in combat for 2 seconds, your maximum health increases by 5%, damage done increased by 5%, and spell range increased by 5 yards. Stacks up to 3 times, lasts for 5 seconds. I think this is pretty cool if you are able to stand around, but I like to move, so it just wouldn't work for me. So this is my honor talents for my Fire Mage PvP. These are my talents again for him. So I mean, I might as well just queue up and see how it goes. Like,